Day one of the 5-day ice challenge is finally here. We just got finished filling up all the coolers to capacity with ice and 6 beverages. You can take a look around. We have all the coolers lined up. We'll do a rundown real quick and let you see that all the coolers are in fact filled to capacity with ice as well as 6 beverages. First up, we have the Yeti Tundra 45. Again, not 45 quarts, actually 37 quarts. Next up is the Grizzly 40. In fact, 40 quarts filled to capacity. Engel Deep Blue. This is a 50 quart cooler, part of the Deep Blue series. Next up is the Pelican 45. This is part of the ProGear Elite coolers, and this one comes with wheels. You can get it with or without wheels. Next up, the Igloo Sportsman series 40 quart, followed by the same Igloo Sportsman series 55 quart. We have 2 of the exact same style coolers, but we want to see if there's a difference in holding 55 quarts worth of ice versus 40 quarts of ice. So same manufacturer, same style cooler, just a difference of 40 quarts versus 55 quarts. Followed by the Canyon Outfitter series 35 quart cooler. Next up is the Siberian 85 quart cooler. This is our biggest cooler in the test, so we'll see if holding 85 quarts worth of ice makes a big difference. Followed by the Vibe Kayaks 20. Again, this is a smaller kayak version. It looks much like the Yeti Roadie. And last but not least is the Rubbermaid cooler. This is just your standard Walmart, Home Depot, Tractor Supply cooler. I don't even know how many quarts it is. We just use it on the boat when we're out fishing. So we're going to use that as our constant to see if there's a difference in a roto-molded cooler versus a standard Walmart cooler, a Rubbermaid cooler, a non-roto-molded cooler. So the scene is set here. I have my infrared thermometer. We have all the beverages on top right now. About midway through the day, we'll come back and put them at the bottom. Right now on the concrete temperature, we are reading about 55 to 60 degrees. It's been kind of varying depending on what angle I have. But the sun is rapidly coming up here in Florida. You can see right now 55.6 degrees on the concrete. But like I said, we have the sun coming up rapidly, so these things will be sitting in the sun all day. We'll take them back into the garage this evening about 5 o'clock when the sun goes down, and we'll see just how long these coolers can maintain ice against each other. This is the 5-day ice challenge brought to you by coolersonsale.com. Well, we're 24 hours into the 5-day ice challenge here, brought to you by coolersonsale.com. The noticeable difference that we see just after 24 hours is the Rubbermaid, the $10 cooler from Walmart, Tractor Supply, Home Depot, wherever you pick up a cheap $10 cooler. Already 50% ice is gone and it's turning to water. I'll be really surprised if it has ice left after today. The rest of the roto-molded cooler is about a 10 to 15% decrease, but it is already getting extremely warm here in Florida today. It's much warmer and much more humid today compared to yesterday. Right now I'm reading about 67, 68 degrees on the concrete, and it's about 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning. So as the sun comes up, I anticipate it reaching about 80 degrees, 85 degrees on the concrete, and the front of these coolers might even hit 100. So we'll come back in the middle of the afternoon and check to see just how hot it gets. One reason I wanted to do a quick 24-hour update, you might have noticed we brought out an extra cooler. At the very end, the tan cooler is an Orca 58. This cooler just came in yesterday. I just picked it up. So we're adding it exactly 24 hours late to the 5-day ice challenge, but it was pre-chilled starting yesterday at 3 p.m. just like the rest of the coolers that we have out here. So exactly 24 hours behind schedule, and we'll pick up and give that one an extra day just to see how they compare against the rest of the roto-molded coolers. First day underway here, and we're on to the second day, and again I anticipate a much warmer day, so we'll see how these coolers hold up throughout the day. All right, day 3 is underway of the 5-day ice challenge brought to you by coolersonsale.com. As you'll see, our early leaders are Engel, Pelican, and the Siberian 85, as well as the Canyon 35. So a variety of sizes and a variety of brands, obviously. The Yeti, the Grizzly, and the 2 Igloos are running about the same. Maybe 50% ice is remaining and the rest is all water. We're reading about 72 degrees today on the concrete. It's early morning, overcast today in Florida. So again, reading about 71, 72 degrees on the concrete. We also have the Orca on the very end, but again, that's 24 hours behind because it just came in 2 days ago, still holding a ton of ice. So I really have high hopes for those Orca. I'll be extremely surprised if we reach the end of the day today and the Vibe Kayak 20 quart as well as the Rubbermaid, which is our control cooler, the $10 cooler, has any ice remaining. It's mostly water with some very small ice chunks checked in. But we'll check you in tomorrow for the beginning of day 4 of the 5-day ice challenge, brought to you by coolersonsale.com. All right, we're entering day 4 here at the 5-day ice challenge, brought to you by coolersonsale.com. As you just saw, same result as we had yesterday. The early leaders are definitely Engel, Pelican, Canyon, and Siberian. They're holding ice where we can actually still get the cans to stand on top of the ice. The rest of the coolers have melted so much that when you drop the cans, it goes straight down to the bottom and it's mostly liquid. The 2 smaller coolers, the Vibe Kayaks 20 quart and the Rubbermaid Constant that we have, the Constant is almost all water. I'd be surprised by noon if it's not all water. There's very little ice left. But for the roto-molded coolers, the definite leaders are Engel, Pelican, Canyon, and Siberian, and then again at the end we have Orca, which is almost rock solid, but they are a full 24 hours behind in the test, so we'll see if it's the same tomorrow. I anticipate it's going to be. It seems like the ice is holding up very well in there. It's getting quite warm here and humid again. The sun is just starting to come up in Florida. Again, I was reading about 68 degrees, so we've been pretty constant in the morning, about 68, 70 degrees, and then in the afternoon we're getting up to 82 to 84. So relatively warm. So far these coolers look like they will make it to 5 days, but we'll check you tomorrow and let you know how day 4 has panned out. All right, we are entering the big day, day 5 here at the 5-day ice challenge, brought to you by coolersonsale.com. As you just saw, same applies from yesterday. The leaders are definitely Engel, Pelican, and Siberian, and Orca. The rest of the coolers are still maintaining ice, and I'm pretty sure they will maintain ice for the full 5 days, but they do not have the surface tension to hold the sodas on top of the surface like you will see in the Engel, the Pelican, and the Siberian, where there's enough surface tension because of the ice to hold the sodas on top. The Yeti, Grizzly, the 2 Igloos, the ice just is mostly liquid and it just falls right to the bottom. The sodas fall right to the bottom. But like I said, it does look like most of the roto-molded coolers are going to make it the full 5 days. I had to pull out the kayak, or the Vibe Kayaks 20 quart. It is all water, but that one still made it about 3.5 days. Our Constant, the Rubbermaid, made it about 3 days, a little over 3 days, slightly over 3 days. So it is in fact true that the roto-molded coolers do keep ice longer than a standard $10, $20 cooler that you can pick up at a local store. We're going to keep an eye on these. It's about 75 degrees, pretty warm today, and very, very humid. I'm reading 77 degrees on the concrete right now. So we'll leave these out all day and see if they can hold ice until tonight and go the full 5 days, which is be a success of the 5-day ice challenge. Well, we finally reached it. 5 full days of the 5-day ice challenge, brought to you by coolersonsale.com. Today is actually the morning of the 6th day, but we're going to cut it here because, again, this is the 5-day ice challenge. Every cooler here made it 5 days except for the Vibe Kayaks 20 quart and the Rubbermaid cooler that we were using as the control. So I set the Grizzly in the back because this morning when I came out, it had literally one little ice chunk in the cooler, so it did make it the full 5 days, but it's just about done now. The rest of the coolers are still holding ice. None of them have enough surface tension with the ice to keep the sodas on top of the ice or the liquid. The leaders of the pack, again, are the same thing we've been saying for the last 3 days now. The Engel, the Pelican, the Canyon, and the Siberian are definitely leading the way. And of course, the Orca is still rock solid, but they are 24 hours behind. So moving forward, what we're going to do now is drain all the water on these coolers and leave whatever ice is in the coolers in there, and then we're going to make the comparison head-to-head matchups that we've already filmed. So if you haven't watched those and you have a specific cooler that you're looking for and you want to match it up against it, say a Yeti, we have those head-to-head matchup videos as well as articles on coolersonsale.com that go into great detail of what's the difference between a Grizzly and a Yeti or a Pelican and a Yeti. Why are we doing this? Because that's what our readers want. That's what is the most read articles on our website. So it's just a natural answer to provide. Everyone is making a comparison with a Yeti because they've kind of set the bar in terms of the high-end roto-molded coolers. Anyways, we're going to get ready now and drain these coolers down and show you just how much ice is left across the board. We have some interesting conclusions. We had a test here between two Igloos, two exact same coolers, one a 40 quart and one a 55 quart, and there's a lot of theories out there. Well, a bigger cooler should hold ice longer, a smaller cooler should hold ice longer. We haven't found that. That's not the case. Between a difference of a 40 and a 50 quart cooler, they've held ice about the same, exact same manufacturer, exact same cooler style, and we've seen variations across the board in terms of manufacturers and size. So there is no rhyme or reason in terms of, okay, a larger cooler, even if it's filled to capacity with ice, does not necessarily hold ice longer. The Siberian 85 quart is the biggest cooler in here, and it's held ice one of the best. And the smallest cooler that we have in here, even the Grizzly, which I thought was a really high-end name, a 40 quart cooler has bowed out. So anyways, let's go ahead and drain the ice down now so you can take a look at the inside of these coolers and see how much ice is remaining. And then again, we will add in the conclusion when we do the head-to-head matchups, whether it's a Yeti versus a Pelican or a Yeti versus a Grizzly. So be sure to check those out. We're gonna have a full write-up of this test on coolersonsale.com because we found some really unique findings and results from this test. Too much to go through on video, so be sure to visit coolersonsale.com. This has been the 5-day ice challenge, and here come the results.